Yeah, hi, this is Anne on The Quiet Girl. I was double dog dared basically by Jordan to start my own podcast, and I have officially begun. My first guest is my dear friend Theo because I needed to feel comfortable. This is not my comfort zone. I am pushing myself out of it because I have been a quiet girl most of my life. I even wrote quietly, and I've never liked public speaking. That I think we should always challenge ourselves, face our fears, not live in fear. And I got to put my money where my mouth is. So, welcome to The Quiet Girl. Hi, Theo.
Hi.
Welcome to this is my very first Pressured by Jordan podcast. And the guest I chose is Theo, who I have known for quite a while. And I first met you when I reached out, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, and I was having some difficulties. And you, I have to say, helped more than I ever thought anyone could. And we've stayed in touch, or we lost touch for a little bit. And then you reached out. This last year was a little rough. Jordan and I split up, and I was in a difficult emotional time, and without even reaching out to you, you felt me after a few years of not hearing from you, and again came to my rescue. And I don't even know how to begin to say what you do, so why don't you let everyone know what it is you do?
Thank you so much for having me here. It's such
I
an
wouldn't
honor.
want anyone else but you right now.
Okay, it's such an honor. And the reason why I reached out is because we're connected. And I just felt your energy, and I heard the call, and something said that I had to call and connect with you. And it was just, I was guided by my internal dialogue, or I actually have spirit guide. Not everybody believes in that, but I certainly do. And, I've been called a lot of different things. Some people say healer, shaman, intuitive. I don't like psychic, but because I believe we're all psychic and connected. But I was just born with a gift of knowing. And I think that it's been a real honor to be involved in your life, because one of the things about my work or my gifts is I get to interact with people, and I get to connect with them on such a deep, intimate level that I feel blessed. So thank you.
It's not just me. You connect with all those people up there. I mean, I guess I didn't know that. I thought it was just me going through life. Mm-hmm. I didn't know I had, until I met Theo, that I had some other folks,
of course,
hanging around.
And we all do. we're connected. We're source energy, yeah. And we come in the 3D, but we're 4D, 5D. We come in, there's that all-knowing voice that we forget, right? We just forget who we are. And I think that part of what's happening on the planet is we're all waking up.
That's like one of the real big reasons why I wanted you on here as well, because a lot of the people I'm starting to follow and things I'm reading and things I'm learning are talking a lot about this 3D, 4D, 5D. You even mentioned 7D.
There's a lot of different Ds.
Yeah. So I do 3D. I get and I know what you explained to me over here at 3D, and I don't want to give it up because I do like a lot of that 3D stuff, like food. And
absolutely.
All that. But I know that I want to raise up, and all of us should be raising up, especially right now. But can you please explain what the difference between 3D, 4D, and 5D is?
Okay.
For those of us who don't know.
Yeah, of course. Some people think it's a space, like a location that we go in. It doesn't really work that way. From my perspective, it's more like energy bands. And there's a 3D energy band, 4D, 5D, 6, 7, 8, onward, okay? And we're born with these energy bands. So the picture's whole, But where we put our focus is what we are living in. And they slightly overlap each other. So we're born, technically we're on this planet, we're having a human experience. So we're born in the 3D with connection to our soul, right? Which is in 4D, which is connected to source, which is, some people say God, some people say divine source, which is 5D. I think that some people come in the fourth with moments of being in the fifth. You know, I gave you a tourmaline for your birthday. And one of the reasons why is because it looks like a holographic imprint. And there's this beautiful angel wing. And you can see the different dimensions in that stone. And that's what, to me, is the third, fourth, and fifth dimensions. Like, it's just really where we direct our attention. I believe that I came in the fourth, and so magic exists there. And I also think that from my perspective, the fourth kind of looks like, it is a portal. So the fourth connects us to the fifth. There's nothing in the fifth except for source energy, God energy. And in order to get to the fifth dimension, we have to travel through the portal of the fourth and connect into that space. Otherwise, it's too jarring. Like, we wouldn't be able to process that. And I think that's why people like meditation, because they get into that fourth dimension. You asked me a question about what I do, right? And I kind of skipped over it, even though I said, shaman, healer. Mm-hmm. I believe, or I know, like, everything that's ever happened in this incarnation or other incarnations leaves imprints in our DNA. Nothing is good or bad, it's just an experience. And I'm able to see, feel, sense those experiences and help people remove those blocks, or those, there's not even a block, it's an experience, to elevate their frequencies. And that, going back to, I'm skipping all over the place,
That's
but
okay.
From the third to the fifth, it's a different frequency. Now, some of those experiences in the third may appear bad, right? Everything is good or bad. There's duality in the mm-hmm. third. But the reality is nothing. It just is. It's an experience. And so we're conditioned on a global, like, planetary level to say, oh, that's bad. And because we're in that mindset that it's bad, we keep recreating negative experiences. So I'm getting kind of, trying to figure out where I'm going with this.
Well, I like where you were headed when you're talking about people that live in stay in the third, and the duality and the good and the bad. And I think that's what's being played on, and how people are acting out right now with all their fear mm-hmm. and the hatred, mm-hmm. and there's and that things are seen as negative when they see someone going through a suffering moment, or a country that's not doing the same as where they are, that they need to help or change, and they're not understanding that it's not good or bad, that things happen in their own time and place, and and I think the way you see things and what you've helped me see is, and that's why I can hear all the crazy stuff but not have a fearful state, mm-hmm. because it's temporary. It doesn't affect the me,
right?
Yeah, this is going on,
right?
And the rest is just an experience. And wow, what a grand adventure this lifetime happens to be.
This is definitely a grand adventure.
Yes, and so I like the way that you explain it, but I'm going to totally switch on you for a second, only because some of the stuff I read, I honestly can't comprehend some of it, but some people say, like, whoever or whatever is behind and running the machinations of the whatever's going on in the world, they're in the 4D. And that we can't combat them in the 3D, that we have to raise up even past 4D. But so how are these people? So they're in the 4D, but they're bad people, or are they bad? And it helped me.
Okay, so a couple of things. 3D is material. This is the material world. 4D exists magic. 4D also, like I said, is a portal. So you can get very dark energies in the 4D. The thing about the negative energies or the dark energies, they're a certain vibration and they can never get to the 5th dimension, right? The vibration will never go into that reality. The people that are in the 4th dimension who are practicing like positive affirmations or their soul work, they can get to the 5th and bring that light to the 4th dimension. So people think, oh, it's so bad, it's negative. I believe that there's enough people on the planet and souls in the universe to
That's
overcome.
what I believe. I believe
Right.
it takes less good people. That's what I said before with Jordan, that it takes less higher vibrating people and that we can actually win this.
If you turn
spiritual
a, I just got an image of a flashlight. If you put a flashlight on something, the light takes over. If you run with that flashlight, the shadow gets bigger, right? So it's like, it's the same. I feel like it's the same in the 4th dimension. So yes, people who practice negative thinking, dark magic, demonic spirits, all of that kind of stuff live there because it's a portal into that existence. However, the light is so much stronger. And forgive me, what was the question?
No, you were answering it really well.
Okay.
It was about the difference, 3rd, 4th, and the things that I've been reading about is that the people who are, like I said, causing the chaos and what's going on, they have access or are living in the 4th dimension, which is why they are able to have such a powerful impact on the people that are stuck in 3D.
3D.
Yeah.
I also believe in soul contracts, right? And I believe
Thanks for burning one of mine, by the way.
Huh? Oh, good.
I had to get rid of one of those.
Yeah. I believe we have soul contracts and we came down here for a purpose, right? And there are reasons, and we have soul family and everybody's interconnected. We're all brothers and sisters. We choose our reality. And when you kind of put your mind around that and go, oh, wait, I chose that toxic relationship, or I chose to have that negative situation, then you can realize, oh, on a soul level, one, you're not a victim, and 2, you're growing, you're evolving. And a lot of what I see and feel, I can't articulate because it's so much bigger than what my brain can comprehend in a lot of ways. And so I think like the fires are terrible, right? The fires are...
Yeah, we're still affected by it right now. We're kind of locked down, no fresh air.
But one of the things that they don't talk about on the news is the heroes, the firefighters. They really aren't focusing on the positive stories and people coming together and people like really evaluating their life and what's important. I personally believe that the pandemic is a hard reset for the planet. We're all having to reassess what's important in life. And I'm not saying that the fires or the pandemic are in any way, shape, or form good. But again, it's where you direct your attention.
Well, I get that. I see that. It's alarming how many people it is time to reset. But instead of focusing on what's more important, they're just looking for the panacea to make it all go away so they can get back to their tiny little lives where they didn't have to pay attention to anything. Just because all the people I see living in fear, wearing the mask, and when's the vaccine so I can do what I need to get back to my normalcy, I feel like they're kind of missing the point.
But who's to say that their experience isn't to really understand victim?
Well, they're embracing victim like a boss.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think we're conditioned in society to just follow what we're being told. you know, and
which is why I want people like you, because I think we should question more and open our mind more to different ways in seeing and doing things. You have so many good stories.
I have a lot of really
I
good
know.
stories.
And
No,
you
no.
I know. I don't know if so we get off, because the sometimes just talking about the pandemic, it's just giving it too much energy.
I agree.
And it's stuff going on, and that we should just again try to rise above it and get out of this.
Cut it.
Yeah, just knock it off and raise your vibration, get up. And how to do that is
how to raise your vibration during the pandemic. For me, prayer, connecting with my internal voice, my soul. One of the things that I think I help people really understand is there's the essence of their soul. Actually, I can't really help people understand their essence. I help guide them into the essence of their soul, and then everything opens up. And I think during this time, being mindful, it's body, mind, spirit, staying in a place where you're living your highest purpose. You are, let's say I started painting. I never held a paintbrush in my life.
You're really good. I have to say, she's amazing.
And there was just something that called that I needed to paint. And not interacting with negative people, taking yourself off of
all media almost.
Oh my God. And doing things to honor yourself. I mean, I'm a really big, I have cousins, and people are getting mad at them because they are doing what's best for them right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this conversation this morning, and I said, why is everyone mad when we love ourselves entirely? Like anything. Oh, I don't want dessert. People get upset. No, you should have dessert. No, you know what? It's not that I'm against dessert at all.
I like it.
Okay. But that was just an example. We are conditioned to say, hey, that's bad. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be I try and follow my intuition every single time now. Like when I like to say my guides. Like when my guides speak, I listen. I know that if I go against the grain, something's going to happen. And I'm being guided for a reason. And I think right now people need to listen to that internal voice. And I think people go there through meditation, through even happy movies. Like anything that is going to raise your vibration, I think is a positive influence,
No, I know what you're saying. Here's the thing. You say that, and then if a lot of people listening are like me, they're like, okay, yeah, I'm 54. I don't even know what I want to be when I grow up. So like finding like your purpose. Like,
your bliss.
Yeah, your bliss. Like that's hard to do. Like I could meditate all day long. I'm not so sure I'm going to find out. I don't know my purpose.
But you're living your purpose. You just being you is your purpose. You can go into, and I know this for a fact because I've watched your frequencies. You can
do that.
I can do that. So you just going into the supermarket, being the vibration that you are, is enough. You're helping other people without even knowing it. Like your vibration on this planet is incredibly high.
I like that you say shopping could be my purpose. Like,
shopping could
I could just go out and shop in all the stores and raise the vibration of everyone around me.
I agree. You could definitely, you have good taste.
Yeah.
You have great taste.
Thank you.
But that's enough. We think we have to years ago, so I never wanted to be a healer, okay, ever. Even though it just kept coming in and coming in. And I think for me, I was completely defined by, I started out as an esthetician, putting my hands on people. I got the nickname the Skin Genie or the Psychic Facialist, and I would do these healings without people knowing. And then they'd say, oh, that's the best facial I ever had. And I'm like, not the facial, right? And so they would come weekly for these healings. And my business morphed into the energy work. I had to, in my own mind, be defined by, I'm a healer, right? I'm this, I'm that. And that none of that is important. It doesn't matter if I ever do this work for a living again. Me just being on this planet is enough. And so many people are conditioned to think, I'm this, that. It's not real.
Or they have to hit a goal point. Like, I have to do this to be happy or to be accomplished.
None of that exists. And once you can, and it's a hard thing to let go of. I had to have a near-death experience for me to go, oh my God, wait, I am not my identity. Defined by my identity as a healer, as a good friend, or as whatever you want to put in there. Like, that's not my purpose. Again,
I think it hurts people to have to be defined by outside sources or labels, because they can get taken away, and then who are you?
But it makes them feel safe. So in the moment, you know, I'm a good wife, I'm a good friend, I am the best podcaster, right? I am, like, it makes people feel safe and secure, right?
Yes.
And once that's stripped away, you realize, oh, that's just, all that is a role. Like, that's not real. But because we're living in 3D, that feels very real, right? It's like, it's our reality. And I think, again, going back to people waking up, 10 years ago, I was born with abilities, okay? One of, my mom was a famous astrologer, and my dad was her business manager. They were wildly eccentric. I was born technically on TV, right? They would time the contractions in between commercial breaks. My dad always thought I was going to be an actress because I was literally born on TV. They rushed me to the hospital, but anyway, whatever. So, my mom, like, during an interview with one of the reporters, got struck by lightning twice when she was pregnant with me. And so one of the initiations in shamanism is to be struck by lightning. So I came out with, like, kind of, fritzed, and being able to see into the other dimensions and feel and know, and I'm a medium, and I have all these gifts. But because my parents were so wild, okay, my dad looked like the Fig Newton guy, and like wore the curly shoes and crazy, right? Yeah. I just want to be normal, like science geek and just eyes-eyed and, just normal. And I was never technically normal.
No.
And my identity is none of it, right? I was running from not wanting to be a healer to being a healer to, like, wanting to be normal. None of that's just conditioning. And again, I'm losing my train of thought, but basically,
we're free flowing here.
Yeah.
But I have another question for you.
Okay, please.
Because when you talk about, you say knowing, and you know things. And I think there's a big difference, especially nowadays when what people are listening to, they hear facts, and then they think they know things.
Oh, no.
And facts are not truth.
No.
And I think the knowing is knowing a truth on a different level. It's actually knowing. And I think people think they know things, and they don't really know at all.
So, okay, back to when I was a little girl, I saw angels. And some people don't believe in angels. I happened to see angels, and I saw dark spirits too. And my perception of frequency, let's say a certain frequency can be an angel, right? But from my point of view, it looks like an angel. So, I was connected to spirit when I was a little girl. Like, I knew things, meaning Like my parents would take me to the art museum and I would tell the curator what things were before he could say it, because I was remembering past lives.
And you were tapped into.
And I was tapped into source. There is, again, I believe that I was born in 4D. So I have 1 foot in this dimension, 1 foot in the other dimension. So I'm constantly, one of the things that...
But you go to 5D too.
When I'm working with people,
yeah,
I go to 5D because what source wants them to know, the angels, source, the divine, God, is not coming from me. I'm just a channel.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain things that I would never, ever know in a million years. Like, I'm just a girl from Philly. There's no way that I would know these things. And yet I'm being communicated from a higher dimension that are ringing true for people, and people are waking up. And I don't know how to explain that other than I'm a channel. Like, I'm a channel for that.
And it is fun to watch you work. So I'll tell you, a fun story is that when I was going through my trauma last year and endings and new beginnings and what do I go next, Theo is who I called because I wasn't going to make a move without her telling me, because I was really, really confused, distraught. And when you can't see straight for yourself, you have to ask someone else. And I was living in a house that gave me a lot of comfort that I didn't want to leave because my family lived there. But I didn't know how big my family was till Theo came to explain about my family. So you want to talk about my family and how great they were?
Your family is great. So
I miss them.
I'm a medium. And so sometimes I will, and I won't call on spirits, okay? I won't call in someone's grandmother. However, I will get a tap on my shoulder and then I start speaking really fast. And oftentimes when I'll just talk about your house. So I walk in and sitting on the sofa were 3 male energies, and they were lovely and they were sweet, but they were surrounding you like they're bodyguards, right? And there are different levels of spirit realm. Some people cross over into the light and they can come back down, and it's called a visitation. Mm-hmm. And so that's what will happen when oh my God, it happened. It was like Katsuya, like, this is a funny one, but I was in the bathroom line and I got the knock. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not here. I'm out. I'm having fun. Mm-hmm. And I talked to a male stranger and channeled his grandmother, and he just started crying and crying. And I don't like to just walk up to people. I don't walk up to people. However, when the spirit wants to communicate,
when they knock, you let them in.
That's a visitation, right? And
but they weren't visiting. They lived there. My family.
Well, so then we have spirit guides.
Those weren't my spirit guides either, were they? Because I left them behind.
Well, you
I don't
left.
think they came. with me.
No. Okay, so then we have spirit guides. I'll go into that. And there's people that come in as, and this is just my understanding. They come in, they pass, but they don't want to go into the next reality. They stay here to guide us. Mm-hmm. And then there's just lost souls, right? Mm-hmm. And some lost souls refuse to cross into the light. Again, it's like that 4th, 5th vibration. Mm-hmm. They're in that frequency, but their vibration isn't high enough to get into the 5th. And they just like I do a lot of house clearings. And when I came to your house...
You couldn't clear that one.
It's not that I couldn't. I wasn't going to cross the boundary. You didn't want them to leave, and they didn't want to leave.
They got upset when they were asked to leave, I think.
I'm not touching any of that, right? I'm not touching any of that because, again, I think we have contracts, right? Yeah. And so they were providing you a source of comfort. They were protecting you.
I didn't even need to turn a light on. I could walk in the house and I could say, hey, and they'd let me know everything was okay. Yeah. They were wonderful.
Yeah.
I did have like one pervy weird uncle or something in there.
Yeah, and didn't we remove him?
I don't know. He just didn't bother me again after. Right. I mean, not that it was all bad because you're lonely. The pervy weird uncle is always bad.
No, I think we had him. It was a boundary, and we said no more, right? Yeah. And a lot of times when people are not souls or not, I cleared there was one time a writer was having his big writer, and he was having writer's block, and they asked me to come over to the house. And it was really funny because in his man cave where he would write, there were 3 spirits, and those 3 spirits just walked onto the property. They were bored, and they were interacting with him. All right. And that's why he had writer's block, because it wasn't his flow. It was coming from them, and they were like messing up his game. And as soon as I said, look, you're compromising his family's security, you have to go. And they just left. And then when I went up, the house was riddled with different spirits. They were just really open. And when I went to their son's room, and I'll call him James, okay? When I went to James' room, there's this couple, and they were grandparents, and I, was directing them to the light, and they wouldn't go. And I had to have, it's like therapy. What they show on TV and what it's really like is 2 different realities. I know they have to sensationalize, but a lot of times it's just therapy. And so in communicating with these grandparents, they told me that James was like their grandson. So I had to call the energy. I called their grandson, who had passed away like 270 years before, to the light, and then they immediately went up. It's because the love brought them into that 5th dimension. So whenever I'm called onto a project, I never really know what's going to, and there's demonic forces, right? And negative energies, and they're fun too, right? They're there for a purpose. People are learning from those experiences, right? People are calling me to get to, because they're ready to let go or not, and
we've been working on one of those for me, and
exactly,
I'm still having trouble.
You know what? We're conditioned, right? Yeah. And we're programmed. We all want love. We all want love, right?
Yes.
And whether we're getting it from another human being or a spirit or from an animal, like we just crave love. That's why people love their animals. They're pure, unconditional love. So, so your house was interesting, but go ahead, because I had a couple of wise words for you. And it wasn't me, okay? It was spirit. It's your soul is connected to that 5th, that source energy. And there were some real significant messages for you.
You had some good ones.
I had good.
Yeah, some good ones. We're not going to share all of them because
no, that's your personal stuff.
I'm still working through some of it. So you did help me, and I do miss my family. And this house is, we've said it's just there's nobody here.
But again, we're all brothers and sisters. And so one of the things that I have suggested is tapping into their energy. It doesn't mean that you have to pull them here, but you can tap in. If you drop into your heart space and you think of a friend, or you think of your son, you immediately feel his energy. There is, we're interconnected. You don't have to miss anybody. You can go in and reconnect with them.
I just liked having a house that talked to me. I think, here's now Jordan, referring back to him, because that's how some of you know me, he didn't believe in any of this stuff. And I know a lot of people, you're like, okay, you've gone totally off the edge, woohoo, it doesn't make sense. And he's very much in this world, 3rd dimension guy. Although he taps.
He totally
without
taps.
even knowing it really
Totally
easily.
taps.
But he didn't believe in any of it until he's seen it. Like when he sees, because I'm not like you, but I have some abilities to.
You have a lot of abilities.
Feel, and I can't see, I can feel. There's, I know if there was someone here, I can, I'd know. But this house kind of bums me out. Although I shouldn't say that, because with my luck, I'm going to get some crazy entity that I don't want.
Again, I feel like you can invite it's like going to someone's house, right? And you knock on the door. If you open up the door, you're going to have people come in if you invite them, right? If you're having a party.
We look at some of my life choices of people I've let in my life. I think maybe I just should not be making my own choices for a while.
Me too, sister.
we can talk about that too.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, no, but What did they say? This one guy, just to go back to, I want to raise my vibration and continue to, because I am going to help. But we will win this war.
We are winning.
Yes.
We weren't.
But I am not giving up all my third dimension things. Remember that guy, we just talking about the guy that lived to 107, and the way he lived to 107 is because he gave up, he never had sex. I'm like, I'm going to take some years off my life because I don't want to be that.
But that's a belief.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why would that make him?
I don't know. But
that's a belief.
He was like fully zen, had no wants and desires and no cravings. And I think when we come here, we should kind of have fun with the third dimension.
We came down here for a reason,
exactly.
Right? And one of the things that I believe is we're meant to create heaven on earth, whatever you want to call heaven, the fifth heaven, whatever, who cares? In the fifth, there is nothing. There's just bliss, right? You can't eat chocolate. You can't have an orgasm. You can't do all the things that you can have down here. I'll tell it, and we can cut it out because I might come across as a cuckoo, but I'm going to share this story.
I think we passed cuckoo already, so go ahead.
So years ago, let me see, probably 5 or 6 years ago, I met someone, and it was our second date, and he told me he was taking me to the symphony. And this is going to I'm going to look like a asshole, but it's okay. So he told me he was taking me to
Isn't it nice that spiritual people can be assholes too?
So
I think that's a good takeaway.
He told me he was taking me to the symphony. I'm so excited. And actually, it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago. So we get there. It's Disney Hall. It's beautiful. And I'm at we're in the last seat at the top of the, right? And he's like, oh, they were all sold out. And I'm looking around at all the empty seats. And I'm like, this asshole is lying to me. I can't believe it. I'm not worthy. He's cheap. He doesn't, he's just, all these awful things, right? And I'm fuming, right? And in front of me was this beautiful symphony, and Disney Hall in Los Angeles, really, there is no bad, right? And it was like an electric current went through my body. And I had this this thought was like, look in front of you, asshole, you're having this amazing experience with classical music. And all of a sudden I felt my crown open up, and I was in the fifth dimension, and my mom had passed away. I saw my mom, I saw Prince. Okay. I saw all these spirits watching the symphony through their eyes and through their experience. And I just started crying because I felt their joy, their essence, and their gratitude for the experiences that we have down here, because they don't have that in that other dimension. And one of the reasons, what the takeaway from that for me, it was so beautiful. It was 20 minutes and I felt pure heavenly bliss. And that's when I realized we're meant to create heaven on earth here. Before my dad passed away, which was in 1997, he said, honey, as long as you're alive, I'll see the world through your eyes. And when you have children, I'll see it through theirs. Spirit lives through us, whether it's your family members or just the angelic realm, they live through us, and we are meant to be having a beautiful experience down here. One of the reasons why they say it's a sin to commit suicide, I'm probably going to piss people off, but one of the reasons why is because it's a sin not to experience coffee. It's a sin not to experience the smell of flowers or the ocean breeze. All of it is a gift, right? All right, I grew up knowing this, but it really, again, after my mom passed away, and I'm going to get emotional, I got to experience what this gift is through my mom and the other family members and spirit through their lens. And I think that's our purpose on this planet. I really believe that's our purpose on this planet.
Yes. Live and love in every moment
in
and
every
appreciate
moment.
it.
And it's hard, like we're human, right? And we live in the 3D and like we forget, like we're constantly forgetting. So if you can say, oh my God, it's amazing, Crystal. And like there's certain things that
appreciation, I think, is one of the highest, isn't it like the highest vibration, appreciation?
I don't know.
I think it's one of the greatest ways. I try to appreciate everything.
So it's funny. He'll laugh when he sees this. So we wound up breaking up on Valentine's Day. Like
symphony guy.
The symphony guy, yeah. Yes. And so that's our special, that's our anniversary because I broke up with him, but we're still friends. And
I just like how girls do that. We just, all girls, we don't ever use guys' names.
Ever.
We can't remember them. But we will always have a nickname. So symphony guy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Valentine's.
Oh.
Valentine's. Yeah. So that to me was an awakening. That was a real
And I like the takeaway for it right now and everything is that and you've said it to me, everyone here on the planet right now, we chose this time to be here. So we are equipped to handle whatever is happening because we chose to be here. And it's either, I guess some of you are just here to irritate us and test us because you mask wearing zombies really irritate me. And maybe it's testing my patience. And that's one of the things I really have to work on, but knock it off. But I think a lot of people were here because we are equipped to raise our vibrations and make the world and do whatever battle we have coming against whatever fourth dimension creatures are out there.
It doesn't have to be a battle. We're conditioned to be warriors, right? We're conditioned to, your friend who didn't, or not your friend, but the man who didn't have sex, and he was,
I didn't know him,
right? He was in a state of kumbaya, and didn't need anything except for source energy. Yeah. For me, I want to experience sex. I want to experience love. I have certainly lived in the nitty gritty. Like I have made every bad choice.
We're so wise by now. If that's how we get wisdom.
Every bad choice, if there is a bad, right?
Yeah.
Because I needed to grow and learn, right? In order for me to help people, I needed to have those experiences, to have compassion and empathy. Like I have story after story, crazy stories, right? And now it's gotten to the point where it's like, how many times do you have to get smacked up against the head to go, oh, wait a sec, okay, I'm going to listen.
Yeah, I think my head's getting, calluses back then.
Yeah.
For being hit so many times.
I mean, but okay, since we started working together and became friends, like, you trust your voice more.
Yes, and I think you've taught me, I think we have so much programming from when we're younger that tells us what we are and what we should and shouldn't be, and that parts of us aren't good or shouldn't be shown because it doesn't make people comfortable, they don't understand, and you've allowed me to just let my freak flag fly or just be me.
I mean, well, the quiet girl, let's talk about that.
Yeah, you've allowed me to, I was told by my mom that something was wrong with me because I needed hugs. And so I was so afraid to go to a therapist because I was afraid to find out what was really wrong with me. And the more you talk to others, especially, but then work on yourself, you realize there's nothing wrong with you and we're all different. And that hypersensitive part of me is actually probably the best part of me, even though it was
and your
shamed
mind
for a while.
And your brain. I mean, you're so smart. One of the great things that I love, like one of the reasons why I love hanging out with you is because you're always questioning. You always help me to look at a different reality. Like, or give my mind.
That's what you do for me.
Right. So that's why we're good for each other. Right. And so you're always questioning, which opens up my mind. I think that's one of the reasons why this is going to be so amazing, because you ask questions to help people expand their mind and their consciousness.
It's because there's so much I don't know. But
me either.
Yeah, but I like the knowing. I think, again, there's a difference between the facts we're given and then the knowing. And I want to get to I think when you know, and that's that feeling. It's that gut feeling. And I'm constantly testing the visit the velociraptors in Jurassic Park. They constantly test the fence for the weak point.
Oh, right.
So I'm always sending out my and see how it comes back. And if it comes back really true, I can sense it.
Right, you
but
feel
I'm
it.
getting a lot of stuff coming back lately where it's like, nope. So I am questioning everything.
I live out in the fourth and the fifth a lot, like in the fairy world, and
because you are a fairy.
Because I am a fairy. I like that reality, and then I have to come back down and adjust.
And by the way, I have to say thank you. No one knows. Friday is usually a no talk day for you because you do your meditations, right? And this is a Friday, and this is a great gift you've given to me to talk to me on Fridays.
When the pandemic started, I was working for a celebrity family, and everything for a lot of people just cut. And my guides told me, we need you to work on the planet. And I'm like, but what about work? Like, what am I going to do? They're like, we need you to work on the planet. And I did. I worked on the vibration of the planet with the animals. Like, there was so much going on, but I was doing so much work energetically for the planet that by Friday I was completely annihilated. And so they're like, Fridays are going to be your day. And sometimes I would, it's like psychic surgery. And so they would do surgery on me to remove, because I'm human, right? And I care. I'm attached to certain ideas. I'm attached to certain, like, it shouldn't be like this. Like, I just have my own stuff as a human. And so they would do energy work on me. And sometimes I would go into these like 18-hour trances and sometimes 2 days. And I liked since February that every Friday is my day for myself. And I think that's really important because I connect, and I connect with the angels, and I connect with my spirit guides. And but I also like just having a day where I'm just all about me, because I think most people get pulled apart.
I think more people should be doing that too. I think that's your message. Sorry to interrupt, but everyone, I hear so many people saying they're so tired right now, and it is because a lot's going on. And you shouldn't feel bad for needing the extra time for you and the rest, and take it to heal.
Right.
Take your mask off, of course, because you might be tired because you're not getting oxygen.
Right.
But yes, we should take that. And everyone I know who's sensitive is feeling this a lot more.
And I will say this, and you're not going to like it, but I don't care. Like, the people wearing the mask, they are in fear. Right?
I know. Oh, I know it's
a
fear.
Vibration. Like, that's where they need to be right now.
I know. I know this. I know. My higher, better self knows this. But my 3D Anne just gets no. She's there's different parts of me.
Feisty.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. Feisty.
No, come on, people. Think for yourselves. Question everything.
But, again, like, why do people, this is controversial, but why do people suddenly develop cancer? There's some part of their reality, some part of their journey, they need to have that cancer. Mm-hmm. I've had people fight me on that, really fight me on that. We have free will down here, right? We're one of the only planets that has, systems, I should say, not planets, systems that has free will. God's will or source will, the source's will, divine source, they don't want us to be sick. That's not what they want for us. There's some part of our journey that needs to have those experiences. So everyone wearing a mask, I have family members that are militant, okay? You just love them. I love them, right? And that they're loving themselves. That's where they need to be. That's where they need to be. Again,
You're coming from a much better place than
right.
I am there.
I'm not a scientist. I'm not so I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of shit for saying this. But
not
my family sees this. But this is...
Well, it is fair because the science doesn't back it up. But I get it. There's so many choices I've made in my life out of fear. fear of being thought of a certain way, fear of not being loved, fear unfortunately is the worst determiner for any decision. So if you're making a choice based on fear, it's not the right choice.
No.
But if there are people I know who genuinely, when my mom, after she got a flu shot, she was sick. She's still sick forever from it. And so she always would have to wear a mask if she flew or went out because she's immunocompromised. And some people, it will work and does work to a certain extent and helps some people. For this virus, no. But there's a time, there are people who genuinely have to and should take precautions.
Now, I'm curious because you're not like me, right? But you feel and you sense. So can you tell everyone like how to hone your intuition on that feeling and sense? Like
no, because you know what? I wouldn't know how because I was like you. I kind of always had it since I was young. I've been able to tell things that I should. I just there's a knowing of things, and I don't know how that happens. I use I call it like my radar. I'll bounce it off things. But I can't see like you. I wouldn't even know what an angel looked like.
But
unless it was on a Christmas tree. Like
I just felt one the other night though.
Well, when I could feel the big presence. Like I could feel the energy. I can't see anything, and I don't. So I don't know. I think everybody. Like we all have different modalities of how we learn, and all my learning is in feeling, which is why you will never hear me throw out facts or figures. And you will see me get left and right. I still can't do it very well because they're proper names and they don't have a feeling to me.
Because you don't live in the third.
Yeah.
Even though you think you live in the third, you don't fully live in the third. You have one foot in and out.
I can only do things I remember and think. And so I have to take a feeling and then put it into words. And I'm not as succinct and eloquent as many are, but I do my best.
One of the best ways for people to open up to their abilities, because again, like think of a sheet of paper, like a picture it's an entire picture. But if you just look at the person's nose on that picture, you'll focus on that. And that's really where they're like, oh, I only know this. I only know this. And they're only looking at one piece of the puzzle, right? If you really drop into your heart space and you connect with your essence, right? And we all have a soul. We all have our essence. And you genuinely ask to open yourself up. Things just open. Period. Right? It's not hard. People think, oh, like they want to learn what I do. I do teach a lot of people on how to open up their spidey sense, their abilities, right? It's already there, right? It's just a matter of going in and saying, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to open that up. No, that's what happened for me. Like, I think I know in my early 30s, because I was born with abilities and I would get voices and I would know things and I couldn't do the crystal ball thing. Like I couldn't tell you your future. And I thought that was so cool. Like, even though I hated being called a psychic, I wanted to be able to be like, I want to see crystal clear information. What I realized, and my guide said, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, give it to me, please. And they're like, we think about that. And I said, I don't care. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. And literally, like the next day, awful things started happening to me. Awful things, one after, because I needed to experience the dark. I had not, even though I had like a traumatic childhood and blah, 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 like experiences that affected my path in life, it never really touched my core, right? And after that, I was taken to my knees and it affected me I went into a bazillion little pieces. I needed to have those experiences in order to see entirely. And, I'm telling people, just ask, but and then I'm like, well, this happened to me.
Yeah, maybe don't ask.
You can ask. Yeah, I'm going to save hopefully millions of people. You can ask to go into the fifth dimension. You can ask to go into the light dimension without experiencing all that negative energy.
Oh, when you do, it's pure bliss. I can say that you can bliss out for a moment, and then I can even like embrace and love all the mask wearers. Like you have that moment where you're just pure love and all is good and everything is, but like you said, you don't want to, it's a beautiful place to visit and to bring back into this place with you to help you live better, I think. Navigate better. Thank you. But yeah, I'm still here for the I don't like chocolate, but I'm still here for the nitty gritty and the sex and and obviously the nitty gritty. My spirit guides are not giving me any advice. They're sitting back and just enjoying the show.
If you ask them,
they are enjoying if they're here for the experience, they are enjoying the show.
You are enjoying the show, right? Because we are all
wants a boring life, right? Not me.
Not you. You don't have a boring life at all. Yeah. So I think that, just asking to elevate your consciousness will open things up. We're also conditioned, I believe, that like in order to like make money, you have to work hard. Like you have to struggle to be accomplished. It's not true. That's just things it's been passed on generation after generation. And it doesn't need to be hard. I'm learning that. Like I have one toe in and then I'll make something difficult. And then I'll have one toe in and then I'm getting better at developing a life that is...
It's a journey.
It's a journey, but and it's also choice. Like we have choice. There's negative energy all around us, right? If we're in think about a grid, okay? And if there's negative energy here and positive energy here and material energy here, it's all around us. It's what we choose to engage with, right? And that's so important.
I agree. Yeah. Well, even that, you can find the humor in just about anything, which I think is important.
I do too.
Yes, it makes us kind of twisted. We can't even, the things we laugh about probably should not be on air.
I think they probably should be on air. Really funny.
We'll do that next time.
Okay.
Because I've taken so much of your Friday. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you everyone for listening to our Out There podcast.
Out there. But you know what? We all live out there and here.
Yes. And we should all try to be more out there.
Like you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I aspire to be more like you.
Oh, that's the nicest thing. I love you and appreciate you. Thank you.